wolves in sheep's clothing, Instagram scammers, and hidden motives in teaching of Qigong. That is going to be the topic of this episode of Qi Life. So we've had an interesting situation on the Long White Cloud Qigong Instagram account over the last couple of weeks. So I'm going to talk about that first, and then just because it's what's going on, and this is, I guess in a way, even though I've done lots of these Qi Life vlog episodes, I'm still figuring out what exactly to do with it. Because the idea is it's supposed to be just about things that are generally going on in the background, with Long White Cloud Qigong, other things that I'm doing personally, as well as things specifically about Qigong. So I'm going to talk about what was going on with the Long White Cloud Qigong Instagram account first, and then also some wider thoughts, because I did actually think a little bit about how this ties in with some things you do actually see out there in the world of Qigong as well. And I have actually had some people asking me a few questions about this lately in relationship to Qigong and Qigong teaching and things that are out there. So there's a little bit of a tie-in as well. So first off, what has been happening with the Long White Cloud Qigong Instagram account? At first I had just one person let me know, and then I had a whole lot of people let me know that there was a fake account, a copycat account that had copied the Long White Cloud Qigong Instagram account. And basically what they'd done is they had copied a whole lot of posts across, just copied them across, all the more recent posts, and they'd copied the profile photo, and then they'd also copied the name almost. They changed the spelling just a little bit so it was hard for people to tell. So instead of Long White only has one E at the end of it. Instead of Long White Cloud Qigong, it had Long Whitey. They had two E's after white before Qigong. So very similar. If you weren't looking closely, you just go like, oh, that's Long White Cloud Qigong. So yes, I had someone let me know that, oh yep, there's this copycat account, and I couldn't see it from inside the Long White Cloud Qigong Instagram account. I logged into another account and then went looking for it there, and I could see it there. So they were quite devious. They had, blocked me, obviously, so I couldn't find the fake account. The real account couldn't find the fake account. So I guess they figured they could go on for longer without being discovered. When I did look at that account, they'd managed to get quite a few followers already. It's like, wow, that's pretty impressive, so many followers so quickly. But I think what they were doing was they were going and following people who were already following Long White Cloud Qigong on Instagram. And when they did that, they, people see like, oh, Long White Cloud Qigong is following me. Oh, am I not following them already? Of course they follow back. So, okay, no harm done yet. Then the next challenge with that was, because what's going on? Why are they doing this? It's not like Long White Cloud Qigong has all that massive of an Instagram account. We don't have that big of a following there, really. Why are they doing this? And then that became apparent too, as people continued to let me know what was going on. They were sending out direct messages to people who had followed them and asking them, saying they had won a competition, and asking them to input credit card details as part of them winning this competition. So there's a bit of an alarm bell right there, because if you've won a competition, why would you have to enter your credit card details? The idea is you've won. So because what we were doing on the Long White Cloud Qigong Instagram account was we had a little giveaway, giving away some t-shirts in conjunction with Qigong Gear, which does Qigong t-shirts. And we were running a little competition to give away a few t-shirts. And clearly someone out there thought, we can piggyback on this and we can scam people into them giving them their credit card details. So yeah, not great. So I was quite concerned about this, as you'd imagine, and I immediately reported it to Instagram, and I made videos on the actual Long White Cloud Qigong Instagram account, saying, hey look, this is what's happening, please report these people to Instagram so we can take it down, because I don't want people to get scammed. And then lots and lots of people told me, yep, they've reported it to Instagram, and yeah. And it's funny, the fake account actually copied one of those videos saying not to follow that account and to report them. They actually copied one of those posts across as well. But I specifically said in those posts, look, they've spelt it, they've got 2 E's, you know, report them, let's get them taken down so no one gets scammed. Instagram was in no hurry to take that account down though. The initial response I got back from them sometime later, basically they said, we're too busy to have someone actually look at it, and our bots say that it doesn't look like the posts violate any community guidelines, so we're just going to leave it up. You can block it if you like. It's like, well, me blocking it doesn't stop other people from being sucked in and scammed by this fake account. Eventually, so just in the last couple of days, I heard again, because it's great. We've got some great people in our Qigong community looking out for different things, and someone said, hey look, I think it's been taken down, and it appears it has now. So finally, but I think it took about 2 weeks in total before it got taken down. So I really feel like Instagram's response was a bit lacking. They didn't, so there was a means to report it, but you know, this was just a really obvious case. They've just totally just faked an account. It should have been super easy to get checked and taken down, and there didn't seem to be any particular way to, I guess, escalate the reporting, make it quite clear, look, this is just a fake, they're trying to scam people, rather than, you know, because people can report accounts for all sorts of reasons, just because they don't like what they're posting or whatever. Okay, fair enough, maybe it takes longer to check those and sort them out, but it's like, but because there's more of a judgment call required possibly, but this is just straight up, no, they're scamming people. The longer it stays up, the more risk there is someone might be scammed. So I was a bit disappointed with Instagram's account, Instagram's response, but eventually they did get taken down. And so yeah, thinking about that, I did even think, it's like, oh, this is a bit of concern. If we run giveaways, potentially someone else can use this as a way to suck people in. You know, maybe I should not run any more giveaways on the Instagram account. But that also would seem like a real shame to not be able to give people, you know, in this instance it was t-shirts. Sometimes we give away things like access to some courses, things like that. And I really would like to do that in the future. So I don't think we're going to stop doing that. I think we'll keep on doing that. But yeah, it's just a bit concerning how people can fake things and so on. And so I guess here's the takeaway. In the end, you always need to be careful and look carefully at anything that you engage with, particularly if it then starts to require things of you. Because people just following that account, you know, just like, oh yeah, follow back, no big deal, no great harm done. But as soon as it starts asking you for credit card details, so it's really requiring something of you, maybe you need to look a little bit more carefully, and just see, you know, is this the real deal? Look at it more closely before you do anything further. You know, verify what it is that you're looking at. So that's what's been going on with Instagram. I'm glad it's finally resolved, and I don't know if there's too much we can necessarily do to stop that happening in the future, because it's kind of outside of our control what other scammers may choose to do. But we can warn people about it, and I guess this video is also warning people about it. Just look closely at those details. But then, thinking more widely about Qigong and how this applies to Qigong, because I have had a few people asking me some questions about different things they've encountered lately. And sometimes we need to look a little bit carefully at organizations or people who are teaching Qigong as well. Now, fortunately, I don't think this is a common issue. There's lots of different approaches to Qigong where people just focus on different things. There's lots of different quality of Qigong teaching. There's lots of different depth of Qigong teaching. And for the most part, all of those different things, no real harm in any of it. They're just different, and different organizations, different teachers will suit different people for different reasons. Much like, again, using the example of Instagram, you look through, there's lots and lots of different accounts all posting different things. Not all of the accounts for everyone. You'll find the ones that you like, that suit you. You'll follow those ones, and the other ones can carry on doing their own thing. No harm done. Other people will probably like them or not like them, but that's fine. And there's lots and lots of Qigong teaching out there now, which overall is a fantastic thing. And I'll come back to that soon. But amongst that, there are a few organizations and individuals who sometimes their motivation may not be completely clear in what they're teaching and why. Sometimes there's some mixed or hidden motivations behind what they're doing or why they're doing it. And there's a variety of these. There can be some political motivation. There can be some religious or quasi-religious motivation. There can be motivations which are to do with manipulation, control, things like this as well. And that's where there's a concern. That's the kind of like, oh, this is all well and good, but now someone is trying to ask for my credit card details. Now again, it's actually not that there's anything wrong with giving someone your credit card details when it's a legitimate transaction going on, where it's quite upfront and clear. You are buying this. Of course, it's fine. But if someone's just trying to scam stuff out of you, which is what was happening with the Instagram account, not great. And that, I think, is part of what happens, unfortunately, in some of, and again, not many, but there are a few Qigong organizations and Qigong teachers where their motivation isn't clear. And so they draw people in simply with the Qigong practices. And then there's this other motivation behind that they're trying to sort of lead people in and then suck them into other aspects, whether it be, on a personal level, someone trying to manipulate and control, whether it be more broadly relating to religious things or politics and so on. And that is concerning. And really it gives, potentially gives the rest of Qigong a bad name, because people then associate this, these other hidden motivations with Qigong as a whole. It's like, no, they've just used Qigong as a front with these other motivations behind it. And I guess that was also one of my concerns with what happened with the Long White Cloud Qigong Instagram account, that even though it was something outside of my control, not anything I could do other than what I did, try to warn people, report to Instagram, so on, that somehow if people did end up getting scammed, and I hope no one did enter their credit card details, to that scammer, but if they did, then somehow that creates a negative association back to Long White Cloud Qigong, even though it didn't come from us, even though it was fake, it was from a scammer. And that's a bit of a concern in terms of some of these things, with whether it be individuals or organizations, when they have hidden motivations, they suck people in, and then that, even though that's not really what Qigong is about, and everyone else doing and practicing Qigong it can't take responsibility for what some people, some organizations do, that somehow that taints the image, taints the experience for people, and stops them maybe from getting the benefit of Qigong that otherwise they might be able to have. And I guess similar to, me thinking about, well, maybe I won't run any giveaways anymore. But yeah, we need to find the good anyway. So I'm not going to name any particular organizations here. It can be quite controversial, and that's not what I'm wanting to do. But just to say that it is something that's out there, and with some organizations, some individuals, you just need to look a little bit closely. Often they do teach, the Qigong they teach, or at least some of the Qigong, they teach good practices, and that's great. You can get benefit from that. But then when there's the equivalent of and now we want to ask for your credit card, again, and if it's actually to pay for something legitimately, there's no problem with that. It's not that people shouldn't earn a living from Qigong and so on. But metaphorically, when they then ask for your credit card details and try to take that practice of Qigong and divert, or you could say even warp your attention into other areas, it's time to be a bit careful there, and maybe reevaluate, look a bit carefully at what it is that you're getting involved with. I think that's probably all I have to say about that. Just something that came up, similar things at the same time, what was happening with the Instagram account, and then also a few people asking me a few questions about some things related to a couple of organizations out there, and it's something that does happen. Now, getting back to something I mentioned earlier, there's lots and lots of Qigong teaching out there now, which is wonderful. There has been massive growth in awareness of Qigong, and as a result of it, that a lot more Qigong being taught openly. And again, varying quality, varying depth of instruction, varying focusing on different things, and there's lots of different things that are good and worthwhile to focus on within your Qigong practice. And overall, this is wonderful, and I think this will help to make these scammers, people with hidden ulterior motives, make it harder for them to prosper. I guess harder for them to continue to operate maybe the way they have, because as things are taught more openly, it becomes easier to cross-reference really and look at what's happening. I think in the past, and even to some extent into the present now, but less and less so, sometimes people in organizations, they use a veil of mysteriousness about the practice of Qigong itself as a way to then also mask other motivations that might be going on in the background, and they can just go like, well, it's all mysterious, and therefore they can lead people up the garden path. And this is a great opportunity, I realize just right now, because I've been walking through this path through the bush. You might think, where am I going? I don't know where I'm going because of this mysteriousness. You might think you're going to a beautiful waterfall or something like that, and hopefully everyone's going to be upfront about their motivation and where they're taking you. But you don't know where they're taking you, and some of them might want to take you somewhere quite different. Now, there's actually not really anything wrong with this place, but it looks like somewhere that could be a bit dangerous with graffiti and all that sort of thing here. It's actually fine. It's kind of fun. You will have seen I've made vlogs here in the past. But yeah, because with the wider open teaching of Qigong, it's easier to cross-reference. There's more people being straightforward about what they're teaching, why they're teaching it, how it works, all of that sort of thing. A lot more people lifting any veil of mystery, any veil of secrecy off the practices and what they're doing and why. And then that makes it easier for people to look at Qigong in a much more straightforward way and identify more quickly, more easily when something doesn't add up. Because when you shine the light of day, openness onto things, you can then see what's good, what's not good, and often what true motivations are as well. All right, that was what I had to say in this vlog. Maybe a bit of a rambly one, but maybe some things that are useful for a few people out there as well. If you've liked the vlog, please, like, comment, subscribe, share, all those good things. And I look forward to seeing you on another one soon.